opposite the Palace of Westminster, in the grounds of Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital, stands a statue of a great woman. Mary Seacole was a woman of colour, a proud and intelligent woman. Just like the Windrush generation, she stepped forward to help when her country called. When they refused her, she made her own way to war in order to relieve the suffering of her fellow human beings.
Hello everyone at MCC. My name's Kayleigh. I'm a nurse specialist. I work here at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital. I'm just going to share with you my journey of how I've come here. So today you see me in front of Mary Seacole's statue, but actually my journey started like her in a different city. I grew up in Medway and I was educated in a comprehensive school, not from a privileged background, but aspirational, which my parents had also encouraged me in. Both my paternal and my maternal grandparents were both quite esteemed in their countries respectively, but came to England and weren't able to rise above the working class status at the time. Yet still they were aspirational and they wanted better for us and expected better. So as I came into the age of 14, I realised that if I wanted to achieve something and prosper in life, then education was going to be my route. So I sat down with education advisor and also my mother, and we spoke about what sort of positions that I would like to do. Nursing I thought was a great fit because I liked the science and I also liked caring for people. I went on to gain the right grades to get into our local college, which was called Mid-Kent College at the time. I studied health and social care. I actually applied for a bursary, of which I was fortunate to get, and so whilst I was studying they would give me funds for studying, which I saved for university, which was a real blessing. As I was studying social health and social care, the drive to become a nurse was even stronger. I really was affirmed at that time, and I actually applied for universities, and during that time you could get into university on your GCSE grades. So because I'd already put the foundations of education in, I was actually able to not stay in college for as long and go on to do my nursing career, which took me to London. So I successfully applied for my uni place and I studied for 3 years. It was not easy, lots of placements and working alongside just to make ends meet, but by grace I was able to pass. I qualified at the age 21 and I've actually been nursing for 11 years now. Throughout my career I've had the opportunity to work in different trusts and also been able to progress within my career and actually partake in extracurricular things like research and producing public papers which have been published and are accessible now, which is something that I never thought I'd actually be involved in. This is a very different story to Mary. If we think about the fact that I was able to apply for a uni place and that I was able to get into nursing without many barriers except for qualifications, the right attitude, and also putting myself through some experience within the role before I prepared to go into it. Mary had the experience, but protocol I believe was a barrier. I did some research and from what I read there was a denial of her being able to serve in the Crimean War. And part of that was they said that she never had any formal hospital experience, that she was past the age of nursing, which is not a barrier nowadays. She was 49 when she had applied, and so therefore she took the initiative to still serve. It was also interesting that now, in the grand scheme of time, she has been honoured. You know, she didn't get to see it, but she has a statue alongside another nurse who was serving in the Crimean War and was recognised much closer to the time of her era, and that is Florence Nightingale. For me, this shows that the virtues of being intentional, kind, patient will pay off in the long run. And even though you have difficulties whilst you're doing it and may not feel like you're making an impact, in the grand scheme of time and in history, you will prevail. It makes me think of a passage that I would like to share with you. But love your enemies and treat them well, and lend and do not cut off hope for any person, and your reward shall be great. Ye shall be children of the highest, because he is kind towards the unthankful and to the evil. Mary was able to serve to the people who refused her, but was later honoured. In a 4-day gala, she wasn't left destitute. People that she had served raised funds to support her, and she lived out her days comfortably. She's an example to all of us. Thank you.